In the field of public education, the doctrine of separate but equal has no place. Separate educational facilities are inherently unequal.
Ruby Bridges was born into a farming family on September 8, 1954. At 4 years of age, Bridges and her family moved to New Orleans. In order to get a better life, Avon Bridges, Ruby's father, got a job as a gas station attendant and her mother, Lucille, got night jobs. Later, Ruby's family expanded to one of 6. Ruby got 2 younger brothers and a younger sister.
Major Event 1. A Chance at Unity. In kindergarten, Ruby was one of the numerous African American students to be gifted a chance to take a test determining if they could attend a white school. This opportunity was produced by the Brown v. Board of Education trial. The test was created to be extremely difficult in hopes that no student would be able to pass. This favorable circumstance was controversial within Ruby's family. Her father did not want her to take the test because he feared the trouble that could arise with her entering a white school. Yet her mother was set on having her go so that Ruby could get a better education. They finally decided to let her take the test.
Major Event 2. Passing the test. After having taken the test, it was discovered that Ruby passed. Her having passed the test meant that she would no longer have to travel several miles to school. Instead, Ruby would only need to travel 5 blocks to her new school. She was to be the only African American to attend the William Frantz School and the first African American to go to an all-white school in the South. In total, only 6 African Americans passed the test in New Orleans.
Major Event 3. Integration Process. Even though Ruby passed the test and was supposed to enter William Frantz around September, when the school year started, she did not. The Louisiana state legislature kept on stalling the integration process. After running out of ways to halt the federal court order, the African Americans were finally integrated in November. Civil disturbances were anticipated for this event, so it was requested that the U.S. government send federal marshals to keep the children part of this profound movement out of harm's way. Ruby and her mother were driven to the new school, and Ruby was escorted by 4 marshals, 2 in front, 2 behind. Ruby and the 4 marshals' trip was one haunted by large crowds yelling and throwing objects. Ruby knew nothing of violence and hatred, and at first thought it to be a Mardi Gras celebration. Ruby was escorted to the principal's office and stayed there the whole day. No classes were held on this day due to the chaos of the event.
Major Event 4. Ruby's new school. Things did not really get better after the first day. Only one of the teachers in the school, Barbara Henry, agreed to teach Ruby. Not only this, but Ruby's class with Mrs. Henry consisted of only her. All the other students were pulled out because of the parents' refusal. Ruby's first year was spent being taught by only Miss Henry. According to Charles Burks, despite all of the racism Ruby faced on a daily basis, she showed only strength. She just marched along like a little soldier.
Major Event 5. The Fallout of Racism. Although many might assume that all of the hardship was directed at Ruby, this was not the case. Her whole family was impacted. Avon, Ruby's father, was fired. Ruby's grandparents were pushed off the land they sharecropped for 25 years, and the family's usual grocery shop banned them from entering. Some people slowly began to show support for the family, however, although things were still not all good. Ruby began to show stress about the situation through nightmares and was found to not be eating her food. She would hide it under cabinets. Ruby wanted to eat with others, not alone, so Miss Henry began to eat with her. Concerned over Ruby's health, Dr. Robert Coles volunteered to be Ruby's psychologist and saw her once a week. In this, Ruby found 2 more people who cared for her. Dr. Coles and his wife.
Major Event 6, Ruby's life after first year. In her second year of school, everything changed. Mrs. Henry had been transferred and the federal marshals were gone. Her classrooms were no longer vacant. The school returned to full enrollment. This year, no one spoke of the past. Ruby graduated grade school, then graduated Francis T. Nicholas High School in New Orleans. Ruby then worked for American Express as the world travel agent. After this, in 1984, Ruby married Malcolm Howell in New Orleans and became a full-time parent to 4 sons.
Effects on American society. Ruby Bridges' contribution to society is immense. Because of the hardships that she pushed through, other black children would be given the same opportunity. Her achievements, along with all other African Americans selected for integration, helped fight discrimination and pave the way for blacks, along with all other discriminated races, to achieve more, to become what they want, all regardless of their race or skin color. But who better to explain this than history himself?
I think it's fair to say that if it hadn't been for you guys, I might not be here and we wouldn't be looking at this together. So,
just having him say that meant a lot to me, and it always has. But to be standing shoulder to shoulder with history and viewing history, it's just once in a lifetime.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, glory. Oh, glory, glory.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against, yes, glory is destined. Everyday women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, the spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus.